There are already super long lines all around the block just to get in. It's only been open a week.
Shake Shack, which has great burgers.
They got a Shake Shack out there. They don't even care about the game. They're there for the burger.
Welcome back to the Steve Sulley study. I really appreciate everyone who's been hitting me up recently, certainly on Instagram. I have to hold my hands up though. I rarely ever check, or I've never checked comments on YouTube, and whether they're good or whether they're, let's say, not so good, I appreciate them all, and I really thank people following my journey. Again, I welcome every single comment that you give me, so please share more. What a weird year. I mean, we're in many people set massive goals and a vision and targets for the next decade. I saw lots of people were posting what happened at the start of the decade and what happened at the end of the decade, and I certainly got inspired by seeing people's posts and what they've achieved and what they're going to achieve. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, COVID-19 hit us, and this lockdown situation, which was enforced by most governments around the world, was upon us, and life certainly changed dramatically. Now, it hasn't got worse, it's just changed, and like many things in life, you need to find a way to adapt and to make whatever life throws at you benefit you and your organisation and your family. I've shared plenty of my thoughts and feelings and views, my suggestions, what I'm doing, and I've got no doubt if you're someone that is a winner, someone that is an optimist, someone that is a go-getter, you'll find a way for this to benefit you. So in times like this, I'm human, right? I get frustrated, I get pissed off, I get angry. We all do. But I realise that these emotions don't last, providing that you've got a plan and providing that you can override these emotions by eating the right stuff, training hard, exercise, getting outside, being around the right people when you're allowed to, reading the right stuff, consuming the right stuff. All these things really help your journey, your mindset, and to becoming the best version of you. Hence, being happy but never content. So just like you, like me, I consume a lot of information, a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of interviews, and times when I'm trying to build my own brand and my own companies, I like to listen to people that have done some magical things, and they've turned themselves into heroes through sport, through competing, business, anything really, anything that can motivate me and inspire me. So I want to share an interview which I found very compelling. I've listened to it twice now, I've made some notes, and I wanted to share it with you. So I condensed it to a few points. So the interview that I listened to is with a guy who founded Shake Shack. Now, this is an American brand, and I'm sitting right now at Woodbury House Studio, private art studio in the heart of London, in Soho. And literally around the corner from here is a Shake Shack in Victoria. There's a Shake Shack, and if you go multiple different places in London and probably around the world, you'll find a Shake Shack. I even saw a Shake Shack in Dubai when we was doing one of our exhibitions over there. And basically, if you're not aware of Shake Shack, it's a restaurant which offers predominantly burgers and also milkshakes. It's a very cool concept, and it's certainly got a lot of attention. The guy who I'm more interested in, rather than the food, is this entrepreneur called Danny. I believe you pronounce his name Meyer or Meyer. Now, his net worth is $400 million. Let me just say this. Making money or becoming a self-made millionaire, someone who's worth hundreds of millions or even billions, or becoming the next trillionaire. It looks like Jeff Bezos is going to become a trillionaire at some point, the guy who founded Amazon. Doesn't make you better than somebody else. It doesn't certainly make you happy, in my opinion, but what it does give you is choices, and sometimes those choices can make you happier. So I'm saying this as not that he's going to be, the happiest person in the world. I'm not saying about this podcast where he hasn't had challenges along the way. I'm just saying that he's made a huge fortune from a very simple concept, and I like to discover what his formula was, and I like to hear his language patterns. I want to hear what his mindset's like and how he went through lots of challenges adversity and how we overcame certain situations. So he started the brand, he started as a business person when he was 27 years of age. He is known as an entrepreneur, he's known as a business person and a restaurateur. He said that there are 6 things to increase your status as a business person, as an entrepreneur. These 6 things that you need to be mindful of, you need to be aware of, and you need to try and develop. Some of them you're going to be naturally a lot more stronger at, and others you need to work on. But providing you know these 6 things you need to work at, you can harness a good culture in your business, you can harness a good team, you can harness a good workforce, and providing you've got like-minded people around you and you all share the same vision, and then everyone's benefiting from the vision, and more importantly, you're serving your clients, your audience, I believe you can become a very successful person like this guy who's worth $400 million, or you can even go higher than that. So number 1, he spoke about kindness. He's saying that you need to be kind, obviously, to your clients, your customers. I always say to anyone that I've worked alongside, sarcasm, becoming aggressive, becoming rude, becoming a narcissist, it's never going to get you anywhere. You might please your own ego, but you're definitely never going to step forward in the right direction. In actual fact, you're going to get complaints. In actual fact, you're going to lose money. So being kind to your clients is definitely important, even if they're being shitty to you. That's number 1. But number 2, the people that you're around. If you're a boss, if you're a manager, if you're a secretary, if you're a caretaker, if you're a president, you know what? Being kind and manners is for free, and people will remember the way you made them feel. Not what you said, but the way you made them feel. So kindness is number 1. Number 2, an intellectual curiosity. So basically, being intelligent by looking at your marketplace, looking how you can blaze your own trail, becoming a disruptor and literally shaking up that sector and making it your own. And what we're trying to do here at Woodbury House is, rather than the typical gallery with white walls and white champagne and just doing things in a kind of typical old way, we want to blaze our own trail. We want to make it a bit edgy. We want to bring street art and high-end art to the masses, and how we're going to do that is through merchandise, collectibles and lower ticket items, as well as doing the higher price stuff. And I feel what this guy done to become worth $400 million is he also done that, embodied that same concept. And again, what he talks about is having the right people around you, having them with similar sort of characteristics in some aspects. The next point, work ethic. Look, people talk about working smart, people talk about hacks, people talk about shortcuts to success. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for the quickest way to becoming a success is a straight line. The simple way, the quickest point from A to B is literally being very, very direct. But I also understand there's no substitute for hard work. And I certainly would always emphasize that even if you're working smart, even if you've got a life hack, even if you've got a business hack, even if you've got the best thing since sliced bread, work bloody hard at it, because you'll compound your efforts and you'll compound your success. The next one is empathy. Something that I've suffered with in the past is this, because sometimes when you're quite a bullish, kind of a tenacious entrepreneur, business person, a salesperson, it's quite hard to take off that hat and become sympathetic or empathetic to a situation, a person, organisation. But I think it's important, because the way you feel and think is not always the way that someone else feels or thinks. And being able to step out of what you're thinking and feeling and stepping into someone else's shoes actually gives you a lot of power and gets you a lot of respect. And I think only over years of experience being around people and being in business and having a lot of setbacks do I really understand this. So I honestly cannot emphasize enough how important it is to see things from another side and try and understand it, even if you don't completely agree with it. Next one, self-awareness. Self-awareness for me is hugely important. Even this morning, I will admit this, sometimes I've tried to come across, even on my podcast, and I know that there are plenty of other, let's say, sales gurus or people that are in the self-help section or mentors or coaches, whatever you want to brand yourself, and it's all about alpha male, and it's all about fuck your fucking feelings, go out there and become a raw, aggressive business person. Well, do you know what? Sometimes I can really fucking break you if you're like that. And this morning, I was meant to get up 1 minute past 5, go training, and I felt so run down, and I knew I had to do some content today. I knew I was being filmed. I had a big client coming in today, someone I really respect with his wife. I had Zoom meetings, and I thought to myself, if I go and train right now, rather than train later on, and I come into work feeling lethargic and down, am I going to give the best amount of value to the team around me, to the content that I need to generate? And the answer was no. So self-awareness, I knew in myself that I wouldn't, I could get through the training session definitely, but then my day might have been slightly hindered. So self-awareness, intuition, I think is something that everyone needs to be in tune with. And this is definitely one of the characteristics that you spoke about. The next one, integrity. Basically, integrity means sticking to your word and fulfilling your promise. And look, I've not been integral all my life. I'm pretty sure that anyone listening, anyone that wants to make a comment on this point, I'm pretty sure you haven't been integral at some points in your life. And guess what? We're all humans. Let's just get over it. But I think that if we can be aware about being integral, having integrity, is so important. It's so important. Sticking to your word, following that up, even if you don't feel like it. Even if, if you're committed to something and you kind of don't really want to do it anymore, follow it through and just be completely integral to your word. And these are the characteristics that Meyer has built up plenty of businesses, plenty of restaurants, nationally, internationally, and he's well known for Shake Shack. And if you can become even 10% his net worth, you're going to be a very, very happy individual. Some of the things I want to emphasize on, he spoke about excellence, and what he said here, which I wrote down, is doing the thing you do to your best of your ability, then doing it even better tomorrow. That is the definition from him of excellence. So think about what you do. If you train hard, if you run a business, if you're a salesperson, if you're a mum, a dad, how can you become excellent at it? There's being okay, there's being good, there's being great, there's being fantastic, but you know what? Excellent. When someone says that guy, that organization, that service is excellent, how good does that make you feel? Next one, hospitality. He asked the audience in this podcast with Tony Robbins, who's in hospitality, and a few people put their hands up. He said that everyone needs to put their hands up, because no matter what your background or what your business is, whether you work for someone or in a business, everyone to a level is in hospitality. And here's his definition of it. Doing the thing you do in a way that makes other people feel good or feel great. Very, very true. The service, your hospitality, your energy. Remember, energy is a vibration. Energy is a feel-good factor, or it could be a negative. When someone walks into the room, it has a bad attitude, thinks that the world owes them something, complains about taxes, complains about governments, complains about COVID-19, complains about the virus, complains about all this fucking crap, people can feel it even if you don't say it. But when you're thankful about life, when you're thankful that you've got a family, when you're thankful that you're healthy, when you're thankful that you're breathing, when you're thankful you've got opportunities, that resonates with people, and that will vibrate through every single business. And guess what? You'll gravitate more great people into your life, and therefore you're going to make a lot more money and you're going to grow. Entrepreneurial spirit. Have you got people in your business that have got an entrepreneurial spirit? What does that mean? Coming up with fresh ways of making processes better. Everything can get better and improve. This is what he said. Listen, the entrepreneurial spirit, you could be an entrepreneur, you could be an entrepreneur but inside of someone else's business. And bearing in mind, most entrepreneurs didn't start as an entrepreneur, they started as employees or people inside these businesses that gave them the inspiration, education, motivation, and some experience to step up and then go out there and start their own business. Have you got that entrepreneurial spirit? Are you helping your team? Or are you just being self-centered and a selfish prick? And the reason why I'm being quite direct with everyone here, because listen, I've been that person. I've only thought about myself, I've been selfish. And becoming someone that is more self-aware, you need to have that spirit where you want to help everybody else. Something could be good, but how can you make it better? That is an entrepreneurial spirit. We spoke about integrity, but this is what he said. He said it's doing the right thing for the great of good of the company and not necessarily for your own reasons. So you've got your own reasons, but how can you make your company better? I will tell you a first-hand experience, right? I had someone that was working alongside me who wasn't working alongside me. He actually is older than me, from the same sector as me, but he fell in debt slightly with me through something that happened. And I'm not going to announce who it is, and I'm not going to announce, what it was involved with, but, he owed me money. And you know what? He said, I'm going to come and work for you to work off my debt, but in the process, I'm going to actually enhance the company. And this wasn't a part of his own goal, wasn't a part of his own plan. But do you know what? The guy's got a huge amount of integrity, paid the debt back, and actually made the company better. And he actually brought that in entrepreneurial spirit. And as he left, we shook hands. I shook hands because I thanked him for paying back the debt. He was a man of his word. He stuck to his word and paid it back, massive amount of integrity. But he sent good vibrations through the company. And do you know what? On reflection, I've got not a bad word to say about the guy. Hugely respectful. I hope this has shed a bit more light on this interview that I watched. You can find it on Tony Robbins' podcast. It's definitely helped me through COVID-19. It's definitely helped me about my own journey. It's definitely helped me about multiple things. And guys, ladies, people, follow me on Instagram, follow me on all my social channels, leave comments, leave a review, and always remember to be happy, never content. Thank you.
There are already super long lines all around the block just to get in. It's only been open a week.
Shake Shack, which has great burgers.
They got a Shake Shack out there. They don't even care about the game. They're there for the burger.
Every day at every Shack, when people line up to come get a Shack burger, it blows us away.
I was so excited.
Shake Shack is an experience. That's all part of the community gathering that Shake Shack brings together.
It's for the burger, but it's not just for the burger, it's for you guys.
When I first got into the restaurant business in 1985, it was really to satisfy an entrepreneurial itch. After 10 years of operating just Union Square Cafe, my career would be one restaurant after the next that was one of a kind. And then accidentally, Shake Shack happened.
Shake Shack was born as a hot dog cart with the sole purpose of supporting an art project in Madison Square Park in 2001.
This little hot dog cart would attract a line of 60 or 70 people. And in 2004, we finally said, let's turn this into a full kiosk and let's add burgers and shakes. Lo and behold, 100 people would wait in line.
When we opened the second Shack, we realized this was something special.
I'm so excited about this. Shake Shack!
Hey, Shake Shack, bam!
Okay, now you're talking.
See?
It's pretty unusual for an international chain of restaurants to have been born in New York City. What's even more exceptional is for that chain to have been born from a fine dining restaurant company.
The core menu of Shake Shack is very simple. It's burgers, dogs, shakes, and fries. We were going to be the community gathering place of your neighborhood and bring back that old roadside burger stand feel. The Shack Burger is our version of the classic cheeseburger.
The most classic, iconic hamburger from dating back to the 1950s, because we really harness everything that's great about comfort food and amplify it.
Ground fresh every night and made with only the best beef.
What's happened is that the world has said, this is great. Fine and casual together is a pretty delicious mashup. And then I thought the really fun thing is how civilized it feels to actually sit down with a beer or a glass of wine along with your cheeseburger. Look at what happens at the pickup line where people are excitedly waiting for their buzzer to go off for their food to be delivered to them. People taking pictures of this stuff and sending it to their friends.
You have a cult-like following here at Shake Shack.
Shake Shack is a beloved brand. We've been amazed every single day how many people are proud to hold that Shack bag. Our fans tell the story through social media. Their tweets, their Instagram posts, everything that they do leads to this incredibly loyal fan base around the world.
You can't go on holiday to New York and not go to Shake Shack.
Every time I'm back in New York, this is the spot to be at.
And I really like Shake Shack here.
She's got great taste.
Often what we get is I love that picture. When are you bringing a Shake Shack to my hometown?
Please bring Shake Shack to Tokyo!
Our guests come to Shake Shack because they've heard the food is awesome, and then they get this added bonus of the way that we make them feel.
One of the best flavors in this entire restaurant is the warmth and hospitality that comes from our people. The team just exudes passion, and they're excited, and they're having fun.
Our culture of enlightened hospitality is the single most important part of our success.
It's not called the food service industry. It's called the hospitality industry, and it's about people. And you look around at this line, and you see that reflected in this brand.
It means taking care of each other first. And when we do that, our team will take care of our guests, our community, our suppliers. That virtuous cycle will take care of our shareholders.
For a lot of years, we actually denied to ourselves that Shake Shack was a chain. And then we finally said, wait a minute, whoever wrote the rule that in a chain, each link has to be identical to the others?
Every Shack is unique, and it's designed specifically for its location.
They're all of their place, not something that happened to their place.
Even at a young age, Shake Shack has gone global. We're open in London, in the Middle East, in Moscow, and we see that our product and the experience of Shake Shack is resonating with people around the world. What's amazing when we open around the world is how people already know about it. Somehow, this legend of Shake Shack has traveled already. And when people get it, they inherit it as their Shack. We can never forget what got us here.
We need to make sure that every single Shake Shack that opens comes even closer to the kernel of what the very first Shake Shack was about. If you begin with something as populist as burgers and fries and shakes, and just add that extra special seasoning called hospitality and love, some pretty special things happen.